This is big breaking emergency news. Biden just activated emergency war powers. Section 506 was just activated. All right, we are also seeing major attacks right now inside of Israel. Northern Israel has been getting bombarded tonight. Reports and video are coming out. All right, we are also seeing deployments of guided missile submarine systems, and groups have also been deployed to the Middle East as well. This just happened. We are seeing deployments of cruise missile submarines deployed to the Mediterranean Sea. All right, so all these things are taking place. Lots of big news going on, and this is a live situation. All right, we could see things pop off over here at any moment. All right, and it's already starting. So let's get into the details really quick, guys. Please hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big news. All right, so this is what's currently happening. Biden has activated war powers, and we are seeing major escalations happen with Russia and Ukraine, and also Israel and Iran and Lebanon. Right now this is happening, and we also have the US ordering guided missile submarines to the Middle East, right? So this is what's being reported. The Pentagon says the US to deploy guided missile subs and strike groups to the Middle East. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has ordered the deployment of these subs amid escalating tensions in the region. It says taking a rare step of announcing the movements of a submarine. All right, they normally don't do this, and this is one of the first times ever that they've even deployed them here. All right, it happened actually a few times right when all this stuff popped off. Right in October, they actually sent a similar group there. All right, but now they're sending the same group, and they're also ordering the deployment of the Abraham Lincoln Strike Group right now to the region as well. The Pentagon is ordering that. All right, so this is big, and it's big for them to announce where these subs are, because they're supposed to be clandestine and hidden so they can launch these attacks from underwater, all right, and try to avoid radar systems and satellite systems. Okay, that's the whole point of these subs, is to be underwater and to breach, to fire these missile systems right when you're near the target. All right, so these subs will be deployed with cruise missile systems. All right, so this isn't a ICBM, but these are guided cruise missiles that could strike into Lebanon and potentially even Iran, and even shoot down missiles that we are seeing going into Israel, which right now is being reported that 30 to 40 missiles have been launched into northern Israel right now, and there's reports that the Iron Dome did not shoot down these rockets. Right, there's lots of video surfacing right now coming out of northern Israel of fire and explosion and rockets hitting. All right, and we are not sure exactly the situation there on the ground. It's a live situation, but there's been reports that potentially the Iron Dome has failed, and they're saying at least 30 to 40 rockets have been fired off into northern Israel. All right, so, and they're saying it's coming from Hezbollah. They're claiming responsibility for the barrage. Right, so this could just be the start of it, and they're saying we could see attacks coming any day now. Right, I know we've been monitoring this for a few days now, going on a week, but this is going to be a big attack. Right, so there's been a lot of preparation, and there's also been more secrecy around the attack this time. Right, so it might be more of a threat in this region. Right, and the US is deploying these subs here, and they're also deploying troops as well. Right, 2,500 Marines are also off the coast right now as well. And we are also having Biden activate Section 506 of this War Powers Act. Okay? And at the same time that he's doing this, we see major fires at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in southeastern Ukraine. Okay? The International Atomic Energy Agency is reporting that at least 2 explosions were heard earlier at this nuclear power plant. And there's been reports that pillars of black smoke has been seen coming from one of the cooling towers, right? And officials at the plant are claiming the tower was attacked by several drones. This power plant is in Ukraine, but it is being controlled by Russian forces, okay? And they are reporting that they have been hit by several drones, all right? So all these things are bubbling up. And now we are seeing Biden activate Section 506 as well of the Foreign Assistance Act. All right, so he just authorized this, and this goes hand in hand with what's happening in Ukraine right now as well. We've seen a lot of attacks from Ukraine going into Russia, right, and into these contested regions, right? We've seen a major pushback from Ukraine the past week, and they've been on a major offensive, okay? And there's been evacuations from Russia. There's been a lot of chaos going on right now. And in the midst of all this, Biden as well just activated Section 506 of the Foreign Assistance Act, right? Here's what it says. By the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including Section 621 of the Foreign Assistance Act, I hereby delegate to the Secretary of State the authority under Section 506 of the Foreign Assistance Act to direct the drawdown of up to $125 million in defense articles and services of the Department of Defense and military education and training to provide assistance to Ukraine and to make the determinations required under such section to direct such a drawdown. All right, so put that lightly, Biden has essentially authorized Section 506 of the Foreign Assistance Act, and he is giving them $125 million directly from the DoD for, quote, defense articles and, quote, military training. Okay, so this is outside of Congress. This is an emergency war power that Biden has activated to give Ukraine $125 million right now in the midst of all this stuff. Okay, so normally this is budgeted by an act of Congress, right? We normally see this fought over every 6 months, every however many months once their budget runs out. All right, and Biden has went around Congress and activated these emergency powers to give $125 million to Ukraine right now in the midst of all of this. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of. Okay, there's a lot of activity going on right now, and this World War Three front is bubbling up. Okay, and the U.S. is directly involved in multiple different wars right now. There's multiple different fronts that we are battling and fighting and funding right now. Right? So this situation could pop off and the US could be dragged further into this World War III scenario that we're seeing grow. Right? The lines are being drawn in the sand and allies and sides are being forced. Okay? There's been a forced alliance between Russia, Iran, and China, okay, especially the past 5 to 10 years, these countries have come a lot closer. Okay? And part of this reason is because of these wars that are going on, right? The lines in the sand have been drawn, supply chains have been severed, right? Energy supply chains, oil supply chains, all these things have been affected and severed the past few years. And if we see an even bigger event happen, right, where the US is more directly involved, we could see even more disruptions, right? We're going to see these lines drawn in the sand where potentially China cuts the US off from their manufacturing that we have outsourced to them for the past few decades. Okay, this is the situation we're in. We are vulnerable. Even a lot of our military production and our weapons production and our munitions production has been taken offline the past few years as well. Okay, these factories, they haven't been building new ones, right? A lot of this infrastructure is older inside the US for our military as well. And if there's a bigger war, we could get locked out of this supply chain, right? Because we've become so dependent on China for all of their cheap goods and their cheap manufacturing. And we could see that supply chain severed, right? If we see this World War III situation bubble up even more, right? And you can bet that China is looking at Taiwan right now, is looking to take advantage of the situation where the US is spread thinner globally. Okay, we're designating a lot of resources to the Middle East right now, and as well as Europe, and that means we are spread thinner in Asia, right? And if anything happens to Taiwan as well, which Biden and the US has vowed to defend if China makes any moves there. Okay, so all these parts are moving right now. And hopefully we don't see one of these big things pop off before the end of the year, because if the US does have to go to war, they were talking about it just last week, right? Lindsey Graham was authorizing the U.S. to go to war, right? A war powers resolution, a joint resolution for the U.S. and Israel. Okay? The U.S. has 2,500 Marines off the coast right now. This is big. So, please hit it up for me down there, guys, to help get these warnings out so people know what's going on. I appreciate that. I hope you guys are getting prepared and getting ready for what comes next, right? Make sure you're getting stocked up. Make sure you're getting prepped. Make sure you're working on your homestead. Make sure you're getting out of these major cities and these major population zones, because they're going to be chaos whenever it does hit the fan, right? And it's already hitting the fan right now. It's already hitting the fan in slow motion right now, right? That's what we're dealing with. But once it's completely, blatantly obvious to the general public and normal people, it's over, right? There's going to be panic buying. There's going to be empty shelves. People buying all the toilet paper, all the water, all the wipes, all the medicine. These things are going to get wiped off the shelves quick, and we're going to see major disruptions. We already saw this happen before in 2020, right? So think of 2020 5x, maybe 10x, the level of disruption that we experienced, right? So thank you guys. Hope you guys have big blessings for your life, your family. Be on the lookout for multiple videos a day from me, guys. I'm going to be just keeping you guys updated. There's so much news going on. We're moving into the end of the year where there's a lot of big stuff going on. So it's critical to be getting all this stuff out, right? A lot of moving parts and every day big developments. So Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And I hope you have a big old blessed day.